right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Temperatures this afternoon, even a little bit below average as we stayed away from 90 degrees, but we won't do that on Sunday. How long we stay with that heat, and we'll also track our next rain chance.
A march for reparations in the city of Champions.
This is about systems. These are inequitable systems and outdated systems.
Why organizers say the East St. Louis race riots are still impacting the Metro East community decades later. Our top story tonight, another night of violence in the streets of downtown St. Louis. New reaction after police break up another massive gathering of teens.
The city was not prepared to handle it, and that was the main frustrations from a lot of the downtown residents.
Good evening, I'm Diamond Palmer. Brent Solomon is off tonight. A violent 4th of July weekend continued overnight in downtown St. Louis. Police say 3 teens were arrested near City Garden just a day after 7 people were shot in the same location. Our Annie Krall joins us live in downtown St. Louis with new reaction to the latest round of gun violence.
Diamond, as you can hear right behind me, the streets of downtown St. Louis are rocking, and yes, packed with fans of the classic rock bands Def Leppard and Journey. But this is all coming just hours after police had to break up another massive gathering of young people for the second night in a row. It happened again near Chestnut and 8th Street. A day after 7 people were shot downtown following 4th of July fireworks. Officers responding to a number of young adults blocking traffic and brandishing firearms at the same area. St. Louis Metro Police say 2 weapons were seized from an 18-year-old Belleville man and an 18-year-old from Hazelwood, both taken into custody, along with a 17-year-old armed with an airsoft gun. He was later turned over to his mother, frustrating people who live nearby like Dan Pistor with the St. Louis Downtown Neighborhood Association.
We weren't prepared for what happened after the fireworks. We weren't prepared to disperse the crowd, and we allowed large gatherings of kids to shoot fireworks at people intending to do harm.
Pistor remembers a similarly violent holiday weekend last year.
It would have been nice if we didn't have the police numbers, that we could have contracted with some of the outer line cities and counties to see if we can supplement more of a force to disperse the crowd.
While the question remains for Pistor whether or not to bring in the National Guard or state troopers to help an understaffed police department, officers were on scene Saturday night for the Def Leppard, Journey, and Cheap Trick concert at Busch Stadium. Pistor attended along with some fans visiting St. Louis for the first time.
They are huge names, and they're from our high school and college years, and we know all the words to all the songs.
I actually listened to the CD on the way down so that I could sing the songs and remember the words.
Oh my God. I've been listening to Def Leppard, Journey, stuff all growing up, so it was a good opportunity. I'm about to go off to college, so this is kind of a last experience with my family before I leave them.
Off in the distance, the shot and boarded up windows of the last 2 days, not worrying concert goers.
We're from the Chicago area, okay? No worries. Been there, done that. No worries at all.
We're not concerned.
No.
We feel comfortable for sure.
For sure. I feel like we're safe here at the stadium.
The Neighborhood Association is hosting a public town hall meeting on Monday night at 6 o'clock. They'll be talking about this week's gun violence at Central Public Library, including appearances by Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore and St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Thank you so much, Annie. And tonight we're working to learn more about a possible shooting in downtown St. Louis. It happened around 5 o'clock at 15th and Market Street. While police have not told us anything about the incident, an area across the street from the Stiefel Theater was blocked off with police tape. We'll keep you updated as the investigation continues. And Alton police say a shooting that left a teen injured was sparked by a fight involving fireworks. It happened last night around 9:30 on Fletcher Street. First responders found the 14-year-old victim and took him to the Alton Memorial Hospital. Investigators say he and other kids were shooting fireworks at each other, which escalated with gunshots being fired. The victim is expected to be okay. And now to flooding concerns in St. Charles County. The Rivers Point Fire Protection District warning drivers of high water near the Mississippi River. Right now, water is running over Highway 94 at Harbor Point and surrounding streets. Drivers are asked to use road detours to bypass the flooding. And if barricades are in place, local authorities want to remind you it's illegal to drive around them. And turning now to your weather impact forecast with a live look here over downtown. Dry with typical summer-like conditions and temperatures. Meteorologist Gary Frank joins us now with a preview of your next weather maker.
Yeah, as we look outside right now, it's pretty quiet. As we, for the most part, though, it's been a nice day. Less humidity, pretty typical day as we look downtown. Wind still not moving a lot, and that was the same thing as we had earlier. Temperature still at 81. The wind is calm. Our dew point at 62. That hasn't changed, and that's not really going to change tomorrow. But what you'll notice is it's a little warmer, and that's going to continue to be the case into the overnight hours. Even as we look in the city, temperatures in the mid to upper 80 or upper 70s. Outside of the city, a little cooler, but not much. You're not going to drop quite as much as you did last night, so that's a main difference for us. As we look at this cloud cover and rain, that's our only maybe wrinkle in the forecast for tomorrow. Now, clouds will increase, but generally we're still in control from high pressure, and high pressure is going to help keep us warmed up. That will essentially shred this as it gets closer. However, it's still something to note because I think some areas in central Missouri and some of our western counties may deal with it. Just kind of look at some of these areas that popped up and kind of fell apart. That will share the same fate into this evening. Temps eventually into the upper 60s, but over the next few days, it is heating up. We do see impacts from Beryl, and that's, I think, what's going to be kind of sneaking up on us. I want to detail the track and why things are changing and what we can expect the rest of the week.
Thank you so much, Gary. And hours ago, dozens of people marched together in East St. Louis to bring light to both historical and recent injustice. Today's march was done in memory of the 1917 East St. Louis massacre. Hundreds of black residents were murdered by a racist white mob that destroyed the town. Many participants were inspired to march after noticing the disparities between East St. Louis and other towns in St. Clair County.
We're out here to uplift the call for justice, to uplift the fact that we need resources given to East St. Louis and that we need reparations for the years and decades of systemic racism that we have faced that has held us down and kept us economically oppressed for decades.
The African Descent Citizens Reparations Commission will meet at the East St. Louis High School Auditorium on August 10th from 10 until noon, and they hope that people can come together to understand the historical significance of inequalities in the area. And construction is expected to begin later this year on a new trail that'll connect City Park to Midtown. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the project could begin as early as September, and it's expected to take about a year and a half to complete. Now, this is a part of the Brookline Greenway project that's adding 10 miles of trails across the city. And a beloved pizza restaurant is shutting its doors in the Central West End. Pie Pizzeria says it's closing its doors for good tomorrow. Upon hearing the news, people had to wait up to 2 hours tonight. The North Euclid location is the franchise's only spot in the Lou, and the restaurant previously had locations in downtown, the Delmar Loop, Kirkwood, and even Washington, D.C. The St. Louis Zoo recently welcomed some new members to their mongoose family. Here's a look at the 3 dwarf mongoose pups born in May. Now they're old enough to start exploring their habitat and play. Their species is the smallest carnivore in Africa. And when they're all grown up, these pups will only weigh about a pound. And you can see the whole family at River's Edge now.
The scorching sun can ruin your summertime fun. We dive into the best ways to soothe a sunburn. Bracing for Beryl. Texas prepares for the storm to make landfall. How Missouri is lending a helping hand.
Well, we haven't talked about the now tropical storm Beryl too much because it hadn't been impacting us, but that may change. Where the track of this is headed and why it may impact the St. Louis area.
Welcome back to Time Now, 10:11, and Tropical Storm Beryl is set to be the first storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season to hit the United States. It's expected to intensify back into a hurricane before it makes landfall along southern Texas. Beryl could bring 4 to 6 feet of storm surge to the Texas coast. While evacuation orders are in place already for several counties, many are still prepping their homes for impact.
I'm gonna be putting them in front of the garage and then lining the doors with them. Yeah, I have a pretty high house, but you just never know because the back is higher than the front. It's crazy.
We've got the generator, we've got water, we've got a gas grill, we've got a charcoal grill.
So you feel prepared?
We're prepared.
Beryl's already carved a deadly path through the Caribbean, killing at least 11 people. And the Missouri Task Force 1 is being deployed to help aid Texans impacted by Beryl. The task force deployed from Boone County earlier today with 37 members, 10 ground support personnel, and 3 members from a FEMA incident support team. Their main goal is to offer support for potential water rescue operations, and they are expected to arrive in College Station tomorrow afternoon.
Temperature's a little warmer at this hour, and that's a telling sign of how things will change for us tomorrow. But it's going to be the hottest day of the next 7. Why that is and just how Tropical Storm Beryl has an impact on our weather this week.
Fun in the sun can come to a screeching or scorching halt, I should say, with a nasty sunburn. If you've ever gotten one, you know how unpleasant it is. As Consumer Reports explains, cooling the burn the right way will help alleviate the pain.
Getting a sunburn is never fun. Your skin feels like it's on fire, and anything that touches you hurts, not to mention the potential long-term health effects.
Every time you get a sunburn, it ages your skin and it increases your risk for skin cancer.
Consumer Reports' Tricia Calvo says prevention should be a priority. Wear the right sunscreen and cover-up. A top-performing sunscreen in Consumer Reports tests that's also a CR Smart Buy, Copper Tone Water Babies Lotion SPF 50.
The right way to apply a lotion sunscreen is to use a teaspoon per body part that's not covered by clothing.
But when you forget sunscreen or don't correctly reapply it, there are ways to relieve the discomfort. Start by taking frequent cool baths or showers.
As soon as you're done bathing, pat yourself dry. Don't rub the towel against your skin. You want to leave your skin a little damp and then apply moisturizer.
Look for moisturizers that contain aloe vera or soy. Since sunburn inflames the skin, taking an anti-inflammatory like aspirin or ibuprofen can help reduce swelling and alleviate discomfort. And be sure to keep hydrated, drinking more water than usual. If your skin blisters, don't pop or peel them, allow them to heal. And if you go outside, cover up by wearing loose-fitting clothes that cover the burn and stay in the shade as much as possible. See our editors like this Tommy Bahama umbrella, which has easy grip handles for setup and is designed to withstand the breeziest beach days. The LL Bean Sunbuster folding shelter was also well liked for its simple setup, higher quality materials, and roominess. If squeezing under an umbrella or a tent isn't your thing, level up with a beach canopy. See our editors like the Cool Cabana's Cool Cabana 5 Beach Canopy for its sturdiness and ability to withstand light to moderate winds and strong wind gusts.
And if your burn is severe, see a doctor, especially if you feel unwell, have chills, fever, or feel dizzy. And a bit late to the party, but still big and bright. That's right, Westport Plaza celebrated Independence Day weekend with a bang at their Have a Blast Bash. Festivities included lawn games, live music, a pie-eating contest, and yes, fireworks. All the fun wrapped up about 15 minutes ago. And it looks like Webster Groves had the same idea. The city held its final night of the July 4th Carnival and Barbecue fundraiser. There were carnival rides, award-winning barbecue, and even a high-tech drone show to finish out the night. The evening is a major fundraiser for the Webster Groves Lions Club, which supports many organizations and schools in the area. And Collinsville was the spot for a perfect match of larger-than-life proportions. Hours ago, the world's largest catsup bottle welcomed the giant Idaho potato for a family-friendly festival. Today's meetup was more than just a photo op. The two giants are collaborating for a good cause.
As we travel the country, we do our Big Helping program, which is a charity function that we do as part of the Big Idaho Potato Tour. Today we're partnering with Homework, Help, and Hoops, which is a after-school tutoring program and a summer lunch program here in the Collinsville area.
Activities today included ketchup tasting, giveaways, games, and more. All right, now time for your weather impact forecast with meteorologist Gary Frank. We've got some nice summer-like weather here on the way, Gary.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still focused on that guy's name was Sputicus. You know, that may be one of the top lower thirds. So you got to love that. You know, not only are we focused on that outside, but looking at pretty nice night for the concert. And I'm just trying to checking in. I think it's still moving. I've seen the lights flash around. So a busy night at Busch, not for the Cardinals, but for all the bands out and about. So a quiet night for that. Temperatures got to 88 degrees today, so stayed away from 90. We're going to change that tomorrow. Temps still, we're in the mid to upper 80s. Otherwise, it wasn't all that bad, really. This is what it felt like. As you mentioned, it felt like that nice summer day that we look for. And when we can get to these temperatures that fall into the mid to upper 60s overnight, it gives our AC a break, it gives our bodies a break, and it's not too hot when you wake up. It's in pretty good shape. Now, we're watching this system, and it's falling apart, but even though despite having some pretty good thunderstorms with it, what this is going to do is kind of bring us some cloud cover, and this thing's going to sit here and be left over. Now, it's going to fight the high pressure that's going to be responsible for our temperature spike tomorrow, but that high pressure creates sinking air. So we'll watch a few clouds and storms move through by 4 or 5 tomorrow, but watch how they really start to fizzle out. I still think that it's possible that we'll have a shower or thunderstorm or two. I prepare you if you're outdoors. I think most of this fizzles out tomorrow. As it gets closer, you'll see. But otherwise, clouds will increase. We're headed for the low to mid 90s. But just keep that in mind. I just want to point that out. I think overall, it's not really much of a chance. What you'll see, though, in Tropical Storm Beryl, we haven't really been talking about this. Well, we've been talking about it a lot because it's been sitting here in the Atlantic for such a long time, but we mention it and we move on until it impacts the United States. But now it's going to impact us. And watch where this thing moves, right? Once it gets over land as a potential Category 1 storm, which gets it back over 74 miles an hour. This thing turns north and then takes a right turn. And that's important because it will have some sort of impact on our weather. When it goes over St. Louis, it can be as far north as Kirksville. It could be as far south as Memphis. That's why we may see some rain. I think at the very least, cloud cover keeps us cooler, but we may be on the northern edge of this. Not necessarily Monday, but Tuesday. Watch how clouds are increasing. That is from Beryl, and I think we're going to see a better chance for rain on Tuesday as well. This could bring a tightly bound area north or south. We'll watch where this tracks. Another 1 to 2 inches for some of us. Right now, I think it stays south, but still over the next 7 days, 94, 89. Tuesday is cool. 82 may be too high. You may stay in the 70s. That's how this cloud cover and rain may impact us. I think it's out of here Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're back in the 90s as we go.
Very nice temperatures, but rain on the way. We've got Corey Miller here. What's next in sports?
We got some stuff to talk about. Lance Lynn is getting candid after his day in D.C. Eli Drinkwitz stays hot on the recruiting trail, and Caitlin Clark makes some history. Stick around. Sports is on deck after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Well, after last night's 5-run comeback in D.C., I was excited to see what the Cardinals would do for an encore today in the nation's capital. And then the game started. Lance Lynn was excellent his last time out. He was not excellent today against the Nationals. The first batter he faced, C.J. Abrams, sent his first pitch immediately into the seats. 1-0 Nats right off the bat. 4-0 Nats in the second. Hyped rookie James Wood is going to send a 3-run shot out to left. That's his first career home run. 7-0 Nationals. It's 11-4 in the fourth. Not a whole lot of Cardinals highlights to have fun with today. This was amusing, though. The ball gets past the Washington catcher. He can't find it. Mason Wynn scores all the way from second. There's something for you. Nats could afford that run, though. They win 14-6. Here's Lynn after allowing 10 earned runs in 2 1/3.
I think everybody in the league looks for my force seam. Some days it worked, some days it didn't. Today it was one of those days it didn't work. In this game, no one's going to feel bad for you if you have a bad start. Today, I think it was my worst start of my career, and it feels like it, so I got to be better.
I don't think I'm overstating things to call this the most hyped Mizzou football season ever. It'll be here before we know it, but until then, Eli Drinkwitz has plenty of work to do on the recruiting trail, and he has been on fire this week. Today, Drink got his third out-of-state 4-star recruit in as many days. Lamont Rogers is a 6'7", 311-pound lineman from Texas who picked Mizzou over the big Texas schools, as well as Oklahoma and Florida State. The past 2 days, Drink reeled in a pair of 4-star wide receivers from Florida. Mizzou's 2025 class is now top 15 in the nation, and I'm expecting some more good news in the coming days as well. What a role for Drinkwitz.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
The John Hackworth era for City SC will aim to remain perfect tomorrow night against Stan Kroenke's Colorado Rapids in Denver. The 53-day drought without a win ended on Wednesday. Now the quest for the first back-to-back wins of the season begins. And for City, it's not about creating something new. It's about getting back to what they're best at.
I don't think it's a new identity, but just reestablishing that identity that when this team plays, how well it can play. You know, I think Hack is always going to add his little 2 cents and a little bit of a different style to the team, but just going back to what made this team so successful in the past, and that's, you know, repressing and having that high energy out on the field.
Let's check in on City 2 tonight. They are on top of the MLS Next Pro League. They had a whale of a night at City Park against LAFC. Makai Joyner is a stud. He scored 2 goals tonight to give him a team-leading 9 on the season as City 2 beat LAFC 2 by the score of 4-3. Walk-in highlight, Caitlin Clark and the Fever took on reigning WNBA MVP Brianna Stewart in the New York Liberty today. This is how Clark started her day, and yeah, that was a sign of things to come. She scored 19 points, grabbed 12 rebounds, and added 13 assists. She is the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. The Fever pulled off an 83-78 comeback victory, and that'll do for sports.
Yeah, I love to see her win like that. It's amazing, truly.
Big win for them today over the reigning champs, the Liberty, and you know, Caitlin's gonna Caitlin. There's always highlights.
She's going to do it every time. Well, we've got warmer temperatures on the way. We can't check on weather, but thank you guys so much for joining us here at 10. A little bit of rain coming in the future, but summer-like temperatures.
Yeah, we're in good shape. Yep.
All right, that's all the time we have now for 10. Saturday Night Live is next. Be sure to kick off your morning with Today in St. Louis starting at 6 a.m. Have a great night.